Kim, social media Kim, Belgium Kim. There you are. There you are. So everybody thought I was gonna just blow Vakisha off, not top off the phone. Kim came to me this morning and she goes, I got to call Vakisha. What should I do? And I said, well, did we say we're going to top off her phone? And Kim said yes. So I said, then top it off, Kim. Top it off. And I handed her the Amex card and she went to top it off, right?
Also, the viewers are telling us apparently the term is top up, not top off.
Well,
however,
well, you know what? You know what? In my generation, it was top off, okay? But top it up. All right, sorry. Top it up. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying sometimes. Top it up. Top it up. All right, got it. All right, so what do we got? What do we got? Everyone's laughing at me. Top off. It's top up. You know what it is? I'm going to tell you something. You know, it's not easy to talk for 2 straight hours and watch all the comments going by. So I'm seeing them out of the corner of my eye. So sometimes I see top up, top off. I don't know what the hell they're saying sometimes because I can't read. I don't have time to read the whole thing. So give me a break sometimes. But I did think it was top off, not top up. So, I was thinking like it was like a beer keg. Like like sometimes when you have the beer keg, somebody would say, top it off. Yeah, that's what I thought they were saying, but maybe I guess I'm wrong. Top it up.
And it would be
would
be used in the same context.
Top it up. Top it up. I got it. Let's go. All right, social media. Let's go. What do we got?
Okay. Donna says, after waiting the 90 days to get married, can you put in your paperwork to file for your spouse the next day? I thought you had to wait a couple months.
No. It's the wait the 90 days from your entry. You can file the next day.
Beverly says, how long does it take when a mother files for her child over 21 to come through?
7-8 years, assuming she's single and the mother's a citizen. Stop a second. I just want to make sure that everybody follows what they're supposed to do. Okay, number one, they got to share. Okay, we are in the social media section now. Okay, this is where we are answering your immigration questions that you leave on Facebook and YouTube. So please share. Number two. You ready for number two?
Number two.
Leave a long question so we know how to answer it. Don't give vague questions. Spend the time for a minute or two writing out a detailed question so that way I can answer it in a more detailed rather than go, I don't know. Right?
Right. How do I get a green card? Not a detailed question.
There's not a detailed question. Correct. All right.
Okay, we've got Lorraine who wants to know, I filed for my 2 kids in Jamaica. They're adults. By the time that they got through, are their children going to get through with them? I put their kids' names on the paper,
if they're under 21, yes. If they're over 21, no.
So if Lorraine's grandchildren are under 21.
Correct.
Got it. We've got Cassie who says, what's the difference between deportation and a refused entry?
Well, deportation is, there is no such thing actually as deportation anymore. It's a term that people use, but under the law it's called removal. Okay? So since they changed the rules in 1996, they've called deportation removal, although in popular culture they keep using the word deportation, but it's actually removal. Refused entry is removal at a border. So in other words, you're found inadmissible to the United States, you refused entry, and you are quote unquote deported at the border, but you're basically removed at the border. Versus a removal from the interior is you have been allowed into the United States of America, or you snuck into the United States of America, you are now physically here, and now they are going to actually remove you or deport you. So it's just, refusal of entry is a deportation at the airport for all intents and purposes.
So really semantics. It doesn't.
Well, it puts you in a different position.
It does.
Yeah, legally you're in a different position. If you're getting deported at the airport, then you're getting deported here from the interior of the United States because you have made an entry into the United States. The Constitution applies more to you after you are in the United States. Refusal at the airport, you have no right to speak to Brad Bernstein, the lawyer. You're at the airport in a holding cell. They're deporting you. You don't have a right to speak to anybody. There's no constitution there until they let you in.
Wow. Right.
That's why
Oh,
people are
wow.
so
That blows.
scared. That's why people are so scared to travel, because there's no rights.
Right, which is fair.
Right.
Exactly. You end up kind of being in a no man's
Correct.
land.
Correct.
Wow. Ugh, that's terrifying. Becky says, can immigration deport a person who's in the process of getting their residency after they've already received their work permit, their social security number, and a pardon for illegal entry? They just need one more appointment to go get their green card.
What kind
Can
of
they be
pardon?
deported?
You can always be deported until the day you become a citizen. I never heard of pardon for illegal entry. Pardon is from a criminal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Waiver is from an
Waiver,
immigration
maybe?
perspective. So we would need to know a lot more. But the general answer is yes. You can be deported up to the day you become a citizen. So I don't know what you're doing.
Mikhail says, my mom's a U.S. citizen. I'm married and I'm in Jamaica, but my mom wants to file for me. How long is it going to take for me to get through? And is it best for me to come in the States before she starts the filing?
No. Your mom's a U.S. citizen. She's going to file for you. You're going to be put on a waiting list for years and years and years. Stay right where
Mm-hmm.
you are.
We've got Dorothy who says, how much does it cost to file for your citizenship? And about how long would you say the process is?
$725, 9 months.
This is one of those names I'm going to butcher. Mary Bakar would like to
Yes.
know, if you file for your fiance who's in London, how long is that going to take?
On a fiance visa, a little under a
Yeah.
year. 9, 10, 11 months, somewhere in there.
Ava wonders, how long after you do the interview should you expect to hear from someone?
Okay, Ava, perfect example of you need to give them
Not enough.
not enough information. Okay, hear from someone where? Who are you going to hear from? Hear from the milkman? Hear from the officer who interviewed you? What were you interviewed for?
All fair questions.
There is no milkman anymore.
That's not, yeah, well, surely there's like a hipster milkman service, you know what I mean? That
There
like,
is. I don't know.
there's
It
gotta
seems-
be,
it
but
seems
now
like-
it's like,
It seems like it's a great
only
service because you always want to have cereal for breakfast, and you just never milk in the refrigerator. At least from a single man's perspective.
I was just about to
Okay?
say, you have Entenmann donuts in your fridge, but no milk.
Exactly. From a single man's perspective, I wake up every morning and I'm looking at my cupboard and I'm like, oh, I got cereal for breakfast, no milk. I wish there was a milkman. I mean, that's. So then I end up going to Starbucks and getting a coffee instead.
I think it's time to start a petition, Brad.
Yes.
I think it calls for a petition.
Yes. All right, let's continue.
Carol. Carol says, my friend's mom is a citizen, and she filed for the friend about 5 years ago.
Right.
The friend had come up without inspection 30 years ago, was married, but her husband never showed up to an interview in 2001, and then she never followed up with the immigration process afterwards. Then she got caught shoplifting about 8 years ago.
Right.
Now her mom has started the filing, and is starting the filing of her I-485. The mom also has another child who is over 25. What is the best option for her to gain legal status?
All right, the mom can't start an I-485. The mom has to file an I-130. She has to be put on a waiting list for a very long time. And then maybe she can do a 485, which is the adjustment once her priority date is reached, assuming we can grandfather her in from a case that was filed back in 2000 that she had, because she entered without inspection, right? So she entered iwi, which means that you have to pay a penalty fee to get your green card here. To pay the penalty fee to get your green card here, you have to show you have a bona fide application filed before April 30th, 2001. She had an application filed. We don't know yet whether it's bona fide or not. She showed up to an interview. Her husband didn't show up. That was back in 2000. If we can show that was a semblance of a real marriage, then the mother can file an I-130 now. She gets put on a waiting list for years and years and years, and eventually she uses the old filing to grandfather her in and pay the penalty fee. Now the $1 million question is, $2 million questions is are they even going to allow family sponsorship in the future? I would say yes. I don't think there's going to be any immigration law changes, but that's my 2 cents. The second thing is, what is this? Shoplifting. We just can't ignore shoplifting.
Right.
We need to see this We'll see if you're eligible
That
for a green card.
that's a major
Correct.
wrench in the
Correct.
system there.
There's a wrench in the seasoning. Correct.
Yes.
All right. You have a wrench in the seasoning. You're not eating good seasoning.
You're not eating.
Whatever that means.
We just combined like eight different.
We're putting automotive tools
In food,
in
it's not
food. It's
working.
not doesn't work. Correct.
We just mixed like 8 different
Exactly.
references.
Exactly.
Jay Carter says, my wife is going to Jamaica in June, and then she's coming back up still in June later that month to file, and then we're going to file for her citizenship in July. Is there going to be any kind of problem with that timeline?
If she has a green card, it's not a problem, assuming she qualifies. If you mean by citizenship, I want to file for her green card and she has nothing and she's visiting on a visitor's visa, that's a huge freaking problem. You can't do that. So I just want to make sure we're talking when you say citizenship, she already has a green card.
Princess says, I'm married to a U.S. citizen.
And the only reason I say that is because he said, I'm sorry, I just thought of this just now.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. The only reason I said it is he said, we are filing for her citizenship. What does that mean, we are filing? We don't file for citizenship. She files for citizenship. I file for her green card. She files for her citizenship. So I didn't know what the we meant in there. You understand?
Full disclosure, I actually added the we. He said, then file for her citizenship.
Okay, well, you are, okay. Say the question as is. So
As my wife is going to Jamaica in June,
all right,
then
we're
come
moving
back.
on. We're moving on to the next one. I'm just saying generally, giving you instructions. All right,
Gotcha.
let's go.
Princess says, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I really, really want to use you for my case, which will include myself and my 2 kids. But I'm really worried that a good lawyer is going to cost me a lot. What is your reason? And what is your advice with that?
My advice with that is twofold. Number one, specifically for my office, we have payment plans. So, and all our payment plans are generally around a couple $100s a month, and most people can afford to pay it. Okay. Number two, this is your life. You file in the United States of Donald Trump. Okay. When you file in the United States of Donald Trump, you're either getting a green card or most likely getting deported. If you want to make this place your life, you give yourself the best opportunity. You find the best professional that you think I'm the best professional, you hire me. You find a different best professional, you hire them. Whatever floats your boat. You find the best professional to go and make sure that you get to live in America for the rest of your life. The last thing you want to do is be like the woman who called originally who said, I thought the guy was a lawyer. Turns out he wasn't a lawyer. They didn't let him in, and then they denied me 2 days later. You don't want that to happen. Okay? Yeah. So you go with somebody the best professional. How you determine the best professional is, one, do you feel comfortable with them? Do they lower your anxiety, not raise your anxiety? Because you got to feel comfortable with them. Number two, have they done this time and time and time and time again? Okay? You don't want to be with novices. You don't want to be with somebody who goes, well, my 3rd case. Okay? So they got to make you comfortable. You got to feel. They got to make you feel good, because if you don't feel good, you're going to be a nervous wreck for 9 months. It ain't worth it.
Absolutely.
Okay? And number two, you got to make sure that they do this time and time again. They can do this blindfolded. All right?
Felicia asks, my friend is married to a vet in the Army. He is now retired, but she's in the country illegally. Is she going to be able to get her green card in this country, or is she going to have to return home to get it?
She can get it in her country. If she came here on a visa, whether the guy's a vet or not, doesn't really matter, because she's eligible to adjust. He's a citizen. If she entered without inspection because he's retired from the military, I assume he got honorably discharged, she can file for something called parole in place. We had a question the other day. I got PIP. Okay? It's parole in place. And the parole in place allows you to adjust your status. So one way or the other, she should be okay.
We've got Andre, who did a fantastic job with a detailed question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Fantastic job. Andre says, my sister petitioned for me, and the priority date was September 25th of 2006. I got the notice date of approval in 2010. I've got the I-797 notice of action as well.
This is way
But
too
then
much
my
information. I'm only kidding. Why you're fogging my mind out with that? I'm only kidding. Go ahead. All right. So the sister filed in 2006. I was just dying to do that for the next person who did it.
I know. I figured.
2006 they filed. 2010 approved. The sister filed. Where's Andre now?
So Andre is now a dad. That was the big change in Andre's life. Andre's son wasn't born at the time, but he was born in 2008. He asked NVC online, and they advised that he should just send a copy of his son's notarized birth certificate and his passport. I sent that, and then I sent that shortly after. However, ever since, I have received no response from NVC of any kind, and neither has my sister as the petitioner.
Okay, so you can't just randomly send a birth certificate. So you have to give as long as you sent a copy of the birth certificate and your case number. You have to put your case number on the letter. So if you just send a birth certificate, they don't know who it's coming from, even if you put your name and address, because everything goes by case number there. So if you sent it with a letter that says, here's my case number, please include my child, they should have sent you back a notice saying they received it. The fact that you didn't get the notice back would lead me to believe that you didn't put your case number on the letter. So please put your case number on the letter. If you did and you still haven't heard, then call me, and I'll make sure it's done.
Rebecca has a fantastic comment that I have to read.
Who is Rebecca?
She says, Rebecca Corey. She says, you are so very loyal. Everything that you're saying is truth, because I just finished with my citizenship and I'm happy, and thank you so much for everything that you're doing for everyone else. And the fact that you are giving away this free information, God will bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. By the way, I was speaking to somebody earlier today, I guess he was a friend. So he says, he says, Brad, are there any other lawyers in the United States of America who do this? They go online and they built this television studio and go online and give free legal advice for 2 hours. He goes, I'm not sure if you are a genius or you are a lunatic, crazy person who goes and gives their time for 2 hours like this. And he goes, I don't know if you're crazy or a genius, or maybe you're a little bit of both. And I go, I guess maybe I'm a little bit of both. I don't know.
You're a crazy genius.
I'm a crazy genius, right? I'm like that professor in Back to the Future. He's like, what's his name?
Doc Brown.
What? Doc Brown. Doc Brown except I don't have the gray hair because I lost the hair, and I can't go back in time. And that was it, right? All right. So what do we got on social media? Let's finish up this show.
So Eliza wants to know, I petitioned for my wife and I'm a U.S. citizen. She's been approved since December of 2017, but she still hasn't received any instructions from the Visa Center. It's been 7 weeks already.
It takes about 8 weeks. Wait one more week if you haven't heard. It takes about 8 weeks to hear from the Visa Center. If you haven't heard in 8 weeks, call me.
Marcia says, can a 10-year green card holder that has a guilty plea on a misdemeanor, are they in danger of deportation under this current immigration system?
What is the misdemeanor for?
We don't know. Jay Carter says, what's a W-7 and how can I obtain a tax ID if I'm out of status but married to a green card holder?
That's the W-7 is how you get the tax ID. You file a 1040 return. That's what I was telling Jermaine from Atlanta. You file the 1040 return with a W-7 and they will send you back a tax ID number, or you call Carmela in my office who will do it all for you.
Angela says, my fiance and I want to get married, but he was married in California and divorced in California and now lives in New York. How do we go about getting the divorce papers from California?
You go to the court where you got divorced. You go online. You can Google Vital Statistics California, and you can go online and request it, and you pay like $20 or $30, and they'll send it to you in like a week or two.
Sassy K wants to know, my daughter just turned 7. She has a visa and her dad wants to file for her. Is she going to be able to travel between now and the time that the filing actually comes through?
I would prefer that she doesn't, because as soon as you file, you're showing an intent to immigrate. Even though it's hard as a 7-year-old to have an intent to immigrate, why are you looking for a 7-year-old to have a problem at the airport? Stacy Ann Perkins says, I'm from Jamaica and I have a degree for
I have immigration through employment. Do you assist in job searches or direction as to where there are job offers, where the employer is willing to sponsor people? And
No,
does the job have to be related to the degree that you have?
those are two different questions. Number one,
Yes, they are.
you can't lawyers can't place immigrants in job sponsorships. It's not kosher. Okay, so you come to me with a job offer, and we're going to try to prove that you're not taking a job away from an American worker if we're doing your green card, or we're going to try to get you your H-1B visa if you qualify. I'm not sure what she's saying for job sponsorship. For an H-1B professional work visa, you need to have a college degree or the equivalent. You have to be working in a job related to that degree. That degree needs that job needs to minimum requirements need to require a college degree. Those are three different rules.
Mm-hmm.
College degree,
Yeah.
job related to the degree, the minimum requirements for the job require that degree. And then finally, you're getting paid the prevailing wage. That's an H-1B. For a job sponsorship, you just have to prove you're not taking a job away from an American worker, degree or no degree, but you have to have the minimum requirements for the job. Some minimum requirements for the job require degrees, others require experience, others require some combination of the two.
Gotcha. I didn't realize those were two different things, actually,
different
the H-1B and the
Yes,
sponsorship.
yes.
Novalette says, how long is it going to take for you to get a 10-year green card, and when can you go ahead and put in for your citizenship?
I assume you have a 2-year green card. Now, to remove the conditions, it takes about 18 months. You can put in your citizenship 2 years, 9 months, 3 days from the day you got your conditional green card.
Santino says, I want to know how long after you made the payment for the visa application, how long is the process going to take before they call you in for an interview to the embassy?
Who's sponsoring you? If it's your brother, if your brother paid for you, about 15 to 20 years. If your spouse sponsored you and they're a citizen, a year. And there's everything in between.
And then, right, everything. Yeah. Nadine says, can a seasonal company in the U.S. petition for workers from another country to come and work here? And if so, how long does the process take? Is everything done by the company?
They're saying like a foreign company to sponsor someone to come work in America?
No, it would be a U.S. company, but she said that they are seasonal. So I'm assuming
that would be an H-2B visa, which are seasonal workers. So, like for example, you're working in Montauk. I'm making up. Montauk is like out in Long Island, the beach community out in Long Island. Nobody goes to the beach, to the hotels in the middle of the winter. They don't need anybody working there. That's a seasonal job. Okay, so a lot of times you find seasonal jobs in resort towns or winter resort towns, summer resort towns, that type of thing. And the question is what?
So the question, the first part of her question was, can she secure a visa through that seasonal status? That you already answered. Her second part is everything done by the company in the U.S. for the person hired for the job? Yes. So all she has to do is sit tight until she gets notified that her visa has come through.
Correct.
Quasi says, my sister has been seeing a man in Ghana who she wants to marry, and she wants to bring him to the United States. The man has 3 kids ranging in ages from 14 to 19. Could she file for her would-be husband as well as the 3 kids for all of them to move to the U.S.?
No, you can only file. You can file for would-be husband, and you can file for all the children who are under the age of 18 on the date of the marriage. So 14, yes. 19, no. We don't know what the age of the middle one is.
The middle one has to be 18 or less.
At the time of marriage.
At the time of marriage.
Correct.
Got it. Santino, who was asking how long after payment can he expect an interview? His wife is the one who's currently sponsoring him.
Is the wife a citizen or a resident? We still need more information. You gotta. What else?
The who, what, the when, the how. We need it all, folks.
Yes.
Trey Breezy says, how long is it going to take for my I-130 to get approved if I'm married to a U.S. citizen?
6 to 9 months.
Andrea wonders, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I have a 10-year green card, but I have a 10-year green card 1 year now. Do I have to file my tax papers together, or is it going to affect me in getting my citizenship in 3 years if I file alone?
It will affect getting your citizenship if you file it alone, because you got to prove a bona fide marriage. And if you're filing alone, you're not in a shared economic relationship. We use that word a lot. shared economic relationship.
The finances of the relationship should be entangled.
Joint.
What's
Entangled.
the other thing? Joint.
Shared,
Yeah.
shared, like all, together.
Big bag of snakes.
Yes, exactly.
Tammy Bay asks, if my mom's a permanent resident and I'm over 21, can she file for me even though her taxes are not up to date? And if so, how long is the process going to take?
She can file for you if you're over 21. Who cares about her taxes because you're about 6-7 years off? You've got to worry about her taxes down the line.
But you know who can worry about her taxes for her?
Carmela. If her taxes if her taxes are not up to date, I don't know what that means, but in other words, she owes taxes, she should be calling Carmela in our office.
Santino said, I'm so sorry. I'm new to all this. Yes, she's a citizen.
All right, so now I can answer your question. Okay. All right. When your wife files for you, you should be getting a receipt within a few weeks. You should be getting an approval in 6 to 9 months. Then 8 weeks later, you should hear from the National Visa Center. And if you do everything properly at the National Visa Center, about 3 months later, you should be getting an interview at the U.S. Embassy in another country. There you go, Santino.
Roxanne would like to know, I have a question that after waiting those 90 days to get married, how long do I need to wait until I can put in my paperwork for the sponsorship?
The next day.
And one more, Roxanne is going through some big life changes because now she's wondering, when should she move? If she gets married in New York and then moves to another state, does she file in the new state without a problem?
Yes. You file in the state. You file. You have to file in the state where you're going to be living. You don't want to live in New York, file in New York, and 1 month later move to Texas, because then you're screwing everything up. Because you got to write New York, tell them to transfer the file. It's a whole Megillah. Just stay where you are to get your green card. If you're going to stay in New York, stay in New York. You're going to go to Texas, and then file. Wherever you're going to be.
Esther wants to know, oh, my case is complicated. That's how she starts this.
All right.
Good evening. My case is complicated. Yeah. But I got married.
It is. Okay.
So Esther got married in 2009 and everything was approved. Everything came through, and then she filed for her kids. And there was an issue where they said that she was still married to her previous husband, which was not something that she was aware of.
How? What do you mean not aware? You have a divorce or you don't have a divorce? Or you thought the guy was dead? How are you not aware that you're previously married to the same? Well, I was like, a whole life was blacked out?
Right.
Tell us how you weren't aware that you were married. I mean, it just blows my mind sometimes. But sometimes, actually, it's true. Sometimes people, they get defrauded, or their husband says, I divorced you, but they never sent the document. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons. But, okay, she's a bigamist. So now what?
So she's a bigamist, and so she did get married in 2015, and then she refiled, and she was approved in 2016.
After she got divorced from the man.
I'm assuming. It doesn't explicitly say that, but it did say that once she was remarried in 2015, she refiled. Mm-hmm. She's good. She was approved in 2016, but then she hasn't heard anything since then. What can she do? She is able to travel.
All right, if you already filed as a bigamist, as an unbeknownst bigamist, because you didn't you didn't even realize you were a bigamist. The first thing that should be popping in your mind is immigration thinks I'm married to a whole bunch of people and I'm trying to pull something over on them. Maybe I need a lawyer. Maybe.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. All right, what else?
Maybe. So we've got Sandra who says, I'd like to know how long it's going to take for someone from South Africa to get a green card by marrying a U.S. citizen.
A little over a year, a little less than a year, somewhere in the year range, right in that area.
And then we've also got JoJo on Facebook. On YouTube. I'm sorry. JoJo on YouTube that says, my brother has a really complicated case. He filed his 751 in 2015, and then it was more than a year and he never heard from immigration. So he filed his N-400 in December of 2016, since he's married to an American citizen for about 4 years. And then he got his biometrics, and then in January of 2017, he got a letter from immigration saying that he's going to get deported because he failed to go to his 751 interview that he didn't even know anything about. So then in July, he got another letter from immigration saying that his naturalization interview is coming up. He went, passed the interview, and then was told by the officer that he can't be approved for his citizenship yet, and didn't give any other reason why. What's going to happen?
I don't know, because if you were a conditional green card holder and you didn't go to remove the conditions, they've taken your green card away, and yes, you're going to be deported. If they incorrectly marked you as a conditional green card holder and you're a permanent green card holder, you have to go renew your green card and get it properly renewed and write immigration and do the proper form, and you shouldn't even have to pay a fee for it, to say, I was issued the wrong green card in error. Now I'm a permanent green card, now you should be able to do your citizenship. I don't know. I got to look and see what happened. Whose error is it? Is it, what's the guy's name?
His name is JoJo.
Is it JoJo's error by not filing to remove the conditions of the permanent residence?
Well,
or is
JoJo's
it immigration?
brother.
Or is it immigration's problem because they said he's a conditional green card holder and he didn't remove the conditions when he really was a permanent? I don't know. We gotta get to the bottom of it.
Right. So Princess wants to know, do you have to work in the same state that you filed for the work permit?
No. But guess what? If you file for the work permit in New York, you're claiming I assume it's a marriage, you claim you live with your spouse in New York, and now you're going to go work in Ohio. How's that going to work out with your living arrangements?
Wesley wants to, right, and that's a completely fair point.
Thank you.
Wesley wants to know, what's the waiting period for a mother to file for her children over 21 years old? The mother's a citizen.
7 years for single children. 8 years.
Brandon wants to know, I came here on an H-2B visa in 2016. I got married in October of 2017. I haven't filed my paperwork yet, and I'm thinking about filing within the next 2 weeks. Do I have to worry about any problem? And I'm sponsoring myself.
You know what I'm noticing, Kim? You have
Tell
to
me.
let the woman who comes and cleans the office, I see her shadow in the background. And you tell her that we're doing a live show, and I'm watching the woman, and I'm watching the woman in the background in the shadow of the Spar Bernstein moving like the garbage cans. Just tell her to wait 5 minutes. You're going to be off the air in 5 minutes, okay?
I've literally been trying to do subtle messages.
Yes, like lady, get out. All right, tell this lady. She's really, look at her. You see her in the background? Can you tell her you're doing a live show? She can't, give her 5 minutes.
Absolutely. I need 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow. Maybe she has immigration questions she wants to come in. I have no idea. She's still cleaning.
No, she's out.
She's out now. All right. So, all right, let's do 2 more questions and we're done. What was the last question?
That's fantastic because we just have one more left.
Okay, great.
Nina would like to know, does having a car as a student in the U.S. Pose a problem when you're applying for a green card?
Having a car?
Having a car.
A car. No. Honk.
That was. Yeah, I was interested by the question. Oh, we got one last one from Novalette.
Last one. Okay.
Novalette says, "Hi Brad, how long is it going to take to get a 10-year green card?"
You have a 2-year green card already? I don't know.
I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah, 18 months. All right, Kim. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Great job as always.
Thank you.
Now you can tell the housekeeper to come back and finish cleaning up there.